This place is called the Mount Zion Baptist Church. Actually, what it was is a church that was actually established by the free slave in America, located here in Marietta, Georgia. It was built by them, and most of their parishioners actually worship in this building because during the time of segregation, the white Baptist church didn't want the black people to worship among them. So eventually some of the black parishioners who try to attend the white church say, well, okay, if you don't want us to worship among you, we're going to build our own church. So that's what it did. They went forward and built their own church right here in a little town called Marietta, Georgia. So I'm standing right outside of that church called the Mount Zion Church here in Georgia. This is called the Old Zion Heritage Museum. This Zion Baptist Church was organized in 1866 by 88 former slaves who left First Baptist Church. The first worship place was a brush amber. Next, a small wooden structure was built, which was destroyed by fire. In 1888, the present structure was built. Original early 20th century pews are still used in this church today. And the church is placed on the National Register of Historical Places. And in 1990, restored in 1997, a museum was established in 2003. So this is the Old Zion Heritage Museum that was actually once a church located here in Marietta, Georgia. So I'm standing right in front of that church right here today. This is the new church that's established here in that housed the church, new church called Zion Baptist Church, located across the street. And I'm gonna go down there and get some kind of collective understanding of the church itself as far as it being a new church. This is called the 165 Zion Baptist Church, founded by former slave in 1866. This is what's called the New Zion Baptist Church, located off of Cherokee Street, right here in Marietta, Georgia. It's one of those buildings that was established by a former slave who was prohibited from actually attending the all-white Baptist church. So they went ahead and they purchased a piece of land and they built the first church down the street. And back in the 1900s, they came up here and they built this beautiful church called Zion Baptist Church here in Marietta, Georgia. This place is called the this place is called the Primitive Baptist Church. And I'm going to collectively get some understanding of this place. It said the Methodist Church of Marietta was actually founded by 37 members in 1833. And for 4 years, Reverend John B. Dickerson led service in Cobb County Courthouse. On this site in 1837, the congregation built its first building, a log cabin church, to commemorate its history in Marietta and to celebrate its 170 anniversary as a church. This is a replica log cabin, and the surrounding park was dedicated in October 2008 to all who worship, offer the service in the name of God. This church is a replica of what we call the First Baptist Church. It wasn't really the original Baptist church. It's a replica of that church. So that's what I'm depicting here today. I'm on a quest today to establishing historical perspective of Cobb County. I'm located in a place called Marietta, Georgia, and this is one of the historical ground here that's dedicated and maintained by the First United Methodist Church of Marietta. These grounds are actually set up as a park to symbolize sort of like mobility and freedom if you ever come to this particular area. It has a nice courtyard, and so I'm going to emerge into that courtyard to see exactly what I can come up with as far as the ambient and amenity that it has available for us. This is a sideways shot of the church itself here in Marietta. As you can see, the log cabin design structure that reflect back in the 1800s is sitting right here in this little place called Marietta, Georgia. Marietta is in horizon and you can't see it, but this is the ground. I'm gonna head into this ground to see what's in here. This entrance to this beautiful garden called the Methodist Church building here. And here it's kind of quiet and peaceful. And I'm gonna be wandering through this place today to see what I can come up with and establish the ambient feeling of being in a nice, quiet area. Here's the church itself from my vantage point, adjacent to Polk Highway here in Marietta, Georgia. This is the church itself. Yeah, I run into these bench here that seem to be so appetizing. You know what's unique about it is that I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna take a moment of silence and see what reflective it is to be able to be in a quiet place. So I'm here in this beautiful garden that actually maintained by the Methodist Church of Marietta, Georgia. First Methodist Church. I'm getting tongue-tied, but anyway. So these benches here are so appetizing. It makes you want to come in here and put your foot up and read a book and just block out the world. So I'm on this is the first set of benches I saw here. And in the distance, I have a rectangular type flowers that depict the entrance. So I'm gonna spin my camera around, capture the rectangular flowers that has a big 100-year-old tree in its background. I hope I can do some justice and pick that up too. So these are the grounds of the Methodist Church. I'm zooming my camera around. It may not be as level, but there is it. Here's the entrance that I saw in my picture. The flowers that depict the entrance here. Right there. That I want to capture in my picture. Okay. There's some beautiful flowers here in this area right here. It seemed like kind of like a pattern like a rose. And it caught my eyes. So I want to capture them because they give this beautiful feeling of what life was in this garden here in Marietta, Georgia. I'm gonna roll my camera down to the other side to see what I can come up with. Over there in the distance, it's another portion of the grounds that I'm gonna go over and see what I can come up with. There must be something on this marquee that will explain to me where I'm at. So let's see what's here. Okay. It said, this is a prayer walk. Do not worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what your needs and thank Him for all He has done. Philippians 4:6, New Living Translation. Prayer in the park. So this stuff here indicate that you can come out here and worship the true God, which is in heaven, and pray to Him. I'm gonna bring my camera and give a snapshot of what the compound looked like from the back of this setting here in the Methodist Ground Church. This is what I discovered in here. This is the facility main compound that you will utilize if you rent this place for banquet or service. I'm trying to find out if it's a structure, it's a 20th century structure. It seems like it is because it got a standing seam roof and the arch that's designed here seems to be also something of significant. But the ground are immaculate. So if you ever come here with your family and utilize this place, you'll know you're coming to a clean place. The chairs are still here in the grounds. No one actually feels safe enough to actually leave the church in the ground. I mean, leave the chairs here, which is meaning that the place is a quiet and peaceful place that people have a lot of respect for. I'm gonna spin my camera around in that area just to depict some of the beautiful flowers that they have here that's becoming dormant right now. These flowers can be found on this compound. In the Virgin Islands, they call these things bird of paradise. Bird of paradise. I don't know what to call them here, but the Virgin Islands called bird of paradise. They must have been beautiful in the summertime, but now they're becoming dormant, which means the fall is around the corner and winter is creeping up on us. I'm gonna take a shot of what the grounds look like from this perspective. This is what the grounds look like here in this beautiful park here. I'm gonna take my camera and sort of like spin around it. Beautiful, immaculate grounds they have here in this compound. I'm going from east to west, and if you want to come out here and take a beautiful portrait with your family, these are the immaculate ground that you will see here at the Methodist ground. It seems to have some brickwork down there, so I'm going to get closer to see what the brickwork is about down in there on these grounds. Again, these are the grounds of the Methodist established church grounds. It's my quest today to showcase the historical perspective of these grounds here in Georgia. This is advertising, as appetizing, I should say, to want to come in and be part of this. Let's see what the prayer said here. This one you can't read it because it's a little dirty. Anyway, so this is part of the upper ground of the park itself, where you can come. Have the place for myself today, which is most people working. That's why they're not out here today. But if you ever off on a weekend, bring your family over to this beautiful place, or in the afternoon after you get off from work. It's another setting of the ground, recreational ground of the park. You have benches up there underneath that big oak tree. And I love trees, so I guess I'm gonna find myself going up there and taking a picture next to that big oak tree. But what I want to capture here is what I saw here. This is beautiful, what we call a barn fire, that people will sit around the bonfire. I like this setting here because it's reflective of a human being gathering around here in the wintertime or the summertime, and they're either roasting marshmallow or they're sitting here and they're talking to each other as they let the fire keep them warm here around this fire pit here in Marietta. What's unique about it, even provide them with firewood. So everything is here for you if you want to be part of this experiment here of being reflective of a quiet place to be, you and your family here in Marietta, Georgia. Yeah, like I said, it's a beautiful sight. You just need to come out and participate in it and have fun as you do it. Because that's the concept of life, is to have fun, be serious, but to have fun and to enjoy what God has made. I love this setting here. I love this setting here, especially the big oak tree. See? Look at this big oak tree that lines this park, and so appetizing that others may come and sit underneath of it. It's huge. It's huge, man. I think this one of the original trees here in Georgia. It's in fact, they got it set up, they can have a light on it. So this is huge. Look at this tree. Huge tree here in Methodist ground. Come out and be a partaker of this particular recreational site here in Georgia. you won't be remiss because it's a beautiful place to be here in Georgia. Really, look at that tree. Have to take a picture of it. It's so beautiful. This place is a depiction of what we call the outdoor barbecue pit. What's unique about it is that it has a pit. It has another pit here. And what's unique about it, you can come here and you can observe the temperature of the food being cooked. So if you come out here in this area here, you will see you have for your humidity two things. You can cook right there and you can cook right here. I'm going to showcase either one of them from a different perspective because what's reflective of them is that they remind me of, this one is gas, remind me of back in the day on the island where they used to have rock bakery, rock stove, I would say. And in that stove, you put coal, and the coal would actually ignite, and eventually it will bake your bread, tart, whatever. And the aroma that comes out of it will be a reflection of not smoky, but nice smelling bakery bread. And I was also fascinated because my great aunt on the island of Just used to be one of those individuals back in the early 1900s where they reside, and then we used to go up there as for vacation and stay with our grandmother. And our grandmother used to say, go over to Aunt Liza to get some bread or get some cake. So we used to find ourselves going along the road early in the morning and stop by Aunt Liza Maddox's house and actually get some beautiful cake and bread. And she would even give us a free sample, even though we buy it, give us our aunt was so nice. She used to give us some bread or tart with some bush tea. And as a youngster, that was happy to know you walk all the way. In fact, she had fresh cow milk too. So when you have fresh cow milk back then, the aroma that you're smelling from that fresh cow milk was just delicious. So I'm just getting excited because that's how it used to be. And these things here remind me of that. Yeah, so we can see here that this place is a depiction, nice, of what it's like. See? You can come in here, grill, put your nice meat here, and I don't know what's in here. Wow. You can even come here and bake in this area here too. So, but it's quite a interesting design for anyone who want to come here as a family and have a beautiful social celebration on these grounds here in Methodist Church ground in Marietta, Georgia. I love it. I love it so much I can't help but to film it. I'm gonna spin my camera around to the grounds on the opposite side of this area here in Marietta Methodist Church. Again, this is the area that's you socialize, and you actually, it's called a fire barn here in Marietta, Georgia. So you come out here in the fireplace, and under beautiful rolling night, coal and roast your marshmallow, and have a talk about whatever you want to talk about underneath. So that's what it looks like here from this perspective, and I'm showcasing the grounds too of what I see here. Right here, I like this design. They call it the I like this design. Sort of swale, collect the water into this drain that my camera is sitting on. So I like this design. I gotta take a picture of it. Right there, that coming from the surrounding area. So again, this is beautiful Methodist compound here that you can be part of if you come out here and utilize it. This is what the grounds look like of the building. Great design, great appetizing type building to come and be part of it. Yeah. I'm gonna take some time out and sit here on this beautiful bench. It's cool, a cool day today. I'm gonna say it's one of those cool summer day here that you actually want to be part of. It's a cool summer day. So you want to be part of it. So I'm taking some time out here to sit under this tree here, right here, and reflect on what this thing said. Okay, it said caregivers needed in Woodstock. Oh, we have someone who's sick in Woodstock, and they're asking for someone to come. And anyway, Woodstock is about far from here, many miles, about an hour and a half. So someone dropped that brochure there. Anyway, these are the grounds that's so immaculate and so peaceful that I'm taking some time out to just sit here and reflect on this beautiful compound. I noticed that I have a well here. So I'm gonna go over by that well and sort of interpret what I think happened. That well, I would say, is somewhere where the water used to be drawn for the settlers. Many wells was dug here in Georgia by the enslaved African American to provide water for the settlers, and this one is not any different. It's right down there on the end. Yeah, this is the entrance to this beautiful place here. Yeah, this is the entrance to this beautiful place here called the Methodist Social Gazebo here in Georgia. They have a school over there. I'm hearing a lot of chattering taking place. Yeah. I'm walking on the grounds towards the other section of this compound. Gazebo in the background here, so I have to showcase the sidewalk as I come back towards this beautiful site that I'm showcasing today. Like I said, I'm on my quest to actually document historical perspective of certain part of Georgia. This one happened to be Marietta, in which I'm in today. And it's called the Methodist compound that was designed and preserved for visitors like myself to come out and have a good time and feel peaceful and say a prayer if you have to say a prayer to give God thanks for the day in which you find yourself in. Yeah, here's the ground from underneath there. This canopy here, and here's the ground that I came from earlier where the oven is at. As you can see, the day's a cool one. It's nice and cool. I call this here standing on the crossroad of this compound here. As you can see, there's a road that goes north, south, and east and west. I call this place a crossroad of this compound. And again, like I said, if you ever have opportunity to come out here and be part of it, right in the distance is a gazebo, in which I'm gonna get closer to before I mosey on up to the well setting over there. Again, the compounds here are beautiful. So I'm gonna spin my camera around these compounds and showcase this place here in Marietta, Georgia. The compound are beautiful, it's beautiful, I should say. They're immaculately maintained, and I appreciate that. This one of the gazebos here on this ground here that you can come and have a great time. You can sit down and have your lunch. You can sit down and do whatever you want to do. So you got to come out and be part of this gazebo or be part of this beautiful compound and see what you can come up with as a visitor. It's a beautiful place. You need to come and see it and be part of it here in this Americas. So another segment of the grounds here that's being showcased today. So we can see that these grounds are actually immaculate. But what I want to showcase right now is this well. This well here was built, I would say, back in the early 1800s, and it was dug by African American slave to provide water for the settlers. The well today still have water in it, but it's inactive. As you can see here, the pump has been removed, but this well here provides water for this city of Marietta. There's something strange about Marietta that I've discovered. Marietta was the seat of southern Georgia plantation era. This sort of like Marietta was like what we call New York or Wall Street. They used to come up when all the African American was actually captured and enslaved. All the businessmen used to come down to the square of Marietta and auction off or bid on the African American, and from there they take them to the outland area, all the farms that they had, free of charge, to do all their labor and produce all the crop and build all the structures and build all the road and build all the well, whatever need to be built. This well here is no different. It was dug and established by African American labor to provide the water. And again, I'm in my quest for historical perspective of Georgia. So that's one of the historical perspective of Georgia that I'm really echoing. And some people may be offended, but it's part of American landscape. And I'm glad it's not like this today, but that's what actually transpired here. So most of the southern plantation owner and aristocratic type family to come all the way in the summertime and in the wintertime to escape the heat from southern Georgia and come to Marietta. Marietta was a playground for these guys because it had a mild temperature. So around Marietta, you had all these antebellum homes that was actually established and built by African American and was occupied by the aristocrats. And you can find them on the western side of Marietta, crossing, I guess, what's that street? Marietta Street. Before you enter into the city, all those aristocrat homes was built right there in that area. If I get a chance today, I'll go on the pinnacle of that area and then take a shot and interpret it as I see it, where all those aristocrats once lived. This is a close-up of the well that I was talking about earlier. This is a close-up of the well and what it looks like right now here in Marietta, Georgia. Like I said, I'm on my quest to interpret the historical perspective of Georgia today. It's nice and sunny day, so that's what's making it interesting. Across the street from Marietta is a place called I think the Boot Home. And I'm gonna go over there to interpret that also before I head down to the entrance to Marietta, Georgia. This is upper level of the well itself, of the gazebo. So this is a gazebo from my vantage point here, overlooking this beautiful park. So I'm on my way out of this beautiful park, heading to another location I'm heading to of historical perspective in Georgia. This is my grand exit of this place called the Methodist ground here in Marietta, Georgia. You can't help it but to come out and see it because it's synonymous of the beauty that these grounds, preserved ground, have for us as citizens to come and showcase here in Georgia. These are some strange stuff. They remind me of breadfruit, but I don't know what they are. There's no sign saying what they are. There's a tree here that produced them here on these ground here in this compound. So I don't know what they are. There's no sign telling me what they are. This is another angle of the root house located here in Georgia. Not a root house, but a small little church here. It's another angle here that depicts the replica of this church here on the Methodist compound here in Georgia. Wow. Be careful. Anyway, this is another section of the city. Of the church, a replica of the church that's built here on Polk Park Street, they call it. Street run down as Park Street. So I'm gonna showcase a little depiction of what Park Street looked like today. Park was a Confederate general that fought in the Confederate Army, and because this was a Confederate state, you'll find out that most of the streets are named off of these Confederate general who actually challenged the Union for sovereignty for their own country, they said, in order that they may carry on the concept of free labor. This is a historical house across the street on Park Road. Down there's a grand site of Marietta entrance. So I think I'm gonna walk down there because I may not find no parking, and go across the street and take a shot of that historical building they call Boot Home or Root, whatever it is, Root House. So here's a busy street of Marietta off of Park Road here that I'm showcasing today. Busy street of Marietta down there that I'm gonna go down there and take a picture of what I can capture as far as historical perspective. The backside of the park and the backside of the house itself right here on the Methodist grounds here in Marietta, Georgia. I'm here showcasing the Root Home right here, historical Root House here from the back entrance in Georgia, and I'm gonna go down inside of the area to see what I can come up with there in this area. But this is the Root House from this perspective. This is a Root House from the back. So I'm gonna see if I can enter the front of it to see if I can capture, get some historical perspective of what the Root House is. Again, I'm gonna go in there and come up with some perspective. I'm standing in front of the Boot House. It's called the William Root House, established in 1845, and now it's a museum and a gift shop. It's on 80 North Marietta Road. I'm gonna kind of like showcase what the Boot House is about, and if you ever come to Marietta, feel free to come and be part of this exhibit called the Boot House here in Marietta. Again, I'm on my quest to showcase historical perspective of Georgia. Yeah, we call this place here the Root House, established in 1845. And it's right here in Marietta, North Marietta Street here in Marietta, Georgia. It's one of the historical places where this guy was a doctor, and during the Civil War, he kind of like was captured, and he supplied merchandise to the Confederate Army, and he was finally captured by the Union soldiers, and he had to fled. He fled and left this place in disgrace. So this is the Root House here, William Root House here in Marietta, Georgia. Seems like there's something unique about this house, and I'm gonna go ahead and read the plaque to see what it said, to understand the Root House. William Root House. This house was constructed for local merchants and druggist William Root and his wife Hannah in 1845. It said it was originally located on the corner of Church and Lemon Street. Their extended family of 11 and 4 enslaved persons reside in original Root House property. During the Civil War, The Root family relocated to Washington, Georgia. United States Army troops occupied Marietta on July 3rd, 1864. Local oral tradition hold that due to its proximity to a war hospital, the Root House became a temporary residence for Union surgeons. Likely sparing the home from destruction, the Root family returned to Marietta on July 15, 1865. The family found their house intact even though many buildings in the area was destroyed. The Root family continued to live in the house until 1886. The house was removed to this location in 1989. So I'm going to go down here. So African American at the Root House. In 1860, there was 4 enslaved persons at the Root property, 2 men, 2 women ranging in age from 35 to 73. There was a separate dwelling for these individuals noted in the 1860 federal census. Research revealed that 2 of these individuals may have been Lyle Burgess, Elias Blake. Record indicate that of the possible enslaved individual of Root House, Mr. Burke moved north to Bartow County by 1867, but Mrs. Blake remained as a domestic worker living at the Root family address. After the Civil War, many residents of Cobb County live and work in Farm, Tennessee or at domestic employees. Jobs outside the domestic realm and agriculture include work at the Brownie Chair Company, Macmillan Monument Company, and the Clover Machine Work, which employed black laborers after the Civil War. Again, this is a depiction of what transpired here during the 1800s in this place called the Root House here in Georgia. This is the house itself with its original, this is what we call the gift shop of Root House depiction with a log cabin and things like that. So we will see that most of these houses was built by African American and occupied by the settlers who actually had a free life and a glorious life. So this is Mr. Root House, who was a druggist here in Marietta, Georgia, and sprang out of here after the Union occupied this area and went to a place called Washington, Georgia. So I'm on my quest for historical perspective of these are the grounds of this house.